Hi guys, welcome back to another tutorial. Today I will show you how I like to contour and highlight my face for a special event. And please don't mind the hair. As you can see from my last tutorial, I recently cut my bangs, so that's why I have them up, because I don't want them to, cover my face and prevent you from seeing what I'm doing. So let's get started. What I like to use, I'm going to be using my BH Cosmetics 10 color palette. This is a camouflage concealer palette, so I'm gonna open it up so you guys can see. So this is what it looks like. It has 10 concealers from the lightest to the darkest, and we're gonna be using, I think I'm gonna be using the lighter, maybe this one and this one right here. So those are the two that I mostly use because of my skin tone, but if you're lighter than me or darker, feel free to use or mix them to your preference just to get the right shade. So let's get started. And the face, you guys, you want to do this before you apply your foundation. So you'll see exactly what I'm doing as we go, and I'll go ahead and explain everything. So I'm just going to use a paddle brush. It looks like this. It's a foundation brush, but I'm just going to use it to apply it. So what you want to do, you want to create hollows. So wherever you want shadows to appear, that's where you want to place the darker concealer. So it's normally, on the hollows of your cheeks, on the top of your forehead, your temples, the sides of your nose, and then down here on your jawline as well. So if you don't know where your hollows are, you can actually feel them. So you can feel the bone right here, and then here is the hollow. You could also make a fishy face like that, or you could also go from the corner of your mouth to the top of your ear, and that is where you want that line to be. So there's different ways you can find this line. So you're gonna go ahead and start by placing this dark concealer on your face. Now we're not going to worry about blending so much right now. We just want to place it where we want that darker color to be. So it's going to be right there. The thing about this palette, I do love it. The only thing, when you first start using it, you kind of have to warm up the colors a little bit. And I mean, as you're using it, it'll be a lot easier to apply. But for the first applications, it's going to be a little harder to blend, just because this palette, you're not going to be using it every single day. Like I said, this is for like a special event, so whenever you do pull it out, you're going to have to warm it up a little bit. You could also use the warmth of your fingers to apply this. It'll be easier, because then the concealer will blend a little better because your fingers are warmer than this brush. Okay, so then that is that. Now that we have that placed, we're going to go in with the lighter foundation, the lighter concealer. So I think I'm going to mix these two colors right here. So I'm going to apply them both. Again, remember, you have to warm up the color a little bit. And we're going to be applying this right below our eyes for our dark circles. And I know it might look really heavy right now that I'm applying it, but we're going to blend it out and it's going to all work out, I promise. Also, you want to place this right down your nose, and whatever is left, just kind of blend it out. That also on top of your Cupid's bow. And I like to place a little bit also right underneath right here, just to accentuate that area. This appear a little bit lifted, and then you have this right here that's going to be darker, so it will look like it's there's a hollow right there. So so that is it, I think. What else am I missing? Maybe a little bit right here. Okay, so now as you can see, I'm starting to blend everything. I'm using the same brush, but now this time I am being, you know, more careful, blending everything. I know it looks crazy. Now for the darker one, we're going to use the other brush we used to apply it. You can even sometimes use your fingers to get into those small areas that you can't get with your brush. Feel free to use your fingers. Of course, if you're working on somebody else, well then that's a different story. You might want to use a smaller brush. I know Sigma has some really good brushes to get into all those small detailed areas, but it's just me, so we're just going in with my fingers if I feel to. Okay, so now that we have those areas kind of blended, we're gonna blend even more, but this time I'm gonna use my foundation. Currently I'm using MAC. This is a Pro Longwear foundation. I'm in the color NC35. So I'm gonna apply 2 pumps on the back of my hand with my Sigma F80. I'm gonna go ahead and apply this throughout my face. And you're gonna want to use patting motions just so that we don't mess with the contouring we just made. And this is also just so that we get an even look, more blended. Don't forget your lids, guys. Just like that. So then it's time to set our foundation. Now I'm gonna set the parts where I used my dark concealer, I'm gonna set them with the bronzer. The rest of my face I'm gonna set with my regular powder. So for my bronzer, I'm using this MAC matte bronzer. Sorry if my camera can't focus. For that, I'm gonna be using my angled brush, this one right here. This is what it looks like. We're gonna go ahead and apply this where we applied our dark concealer. As you can see, that already shows very nicely because we used, that kind of worked as a base. So then the colors appear darker. Sorry, I can't talk while I'm putting on makeup. So again, just apply that wherever we applied the dark concealer. Now for the sides of my nose, I like to use a smaller brush. It's also angled, but it's very small. So take some of that product, tap off any excess, and apply it to the sides of my nose. Okay, now that we have it, we're just going to blend that line downwards. Now for my highlight, I'm going to be using Sin from Urban Decay. This is actually a shadow, but I really like how it looks as a highlight because it's very shimmery. Here, let me swatch it for you guys. I'm not sure if the camera will focus. So I like using it as my highlight. So we're going to apply this down the bridge of my nose, under my eyes, alright, and for my blush, let's use, I haven't done my eye makeup yet. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do smoky look, a bright look, neutral, so I'm gonna go with something neutral. That way I can go either way. This is from MAC. This is Warm Soul, and this is what it looks like. So it's just a pretty bronzy look with a little bit of shimmer. Also, make sure the bronzer that you're using is not a shimmery bronzer. So as you can see, this one's pretty matte, so make sure you use a matte bronzer. Alright, so then for my blush, we want to apply that right above the contour, kind of blend it together. You can do circular motions, that will help with the blending. And there you have it. Again, on the other side. I like going little by little so that we don't overdo it with the blush. And I also, whatever is left on my brush, I like to apply it on the tip of my nose and on my temples. And why not down my jawline as well. Alright, so that is it, guys, for my contouring and highlighting. Hope you guys enjoy. I'm gonna go ahead and finish doing the rest of my face, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay guys, so I'm back. I decided to go light on the eyes. I used my Reveal 2 palette. Let me get closer so you guys can see. Maybe get my bangs out of the way. So what I used, I used this color right here, the third one on the second row. I use that on my crease, just, you know, as my transition color. On my lid, I use a third one on the top, which is a shimmery pink color. I use this white color for my inner corners, and then on the bottom I use the pink one on the inner part, and then this matte brown on the outer. And that was it. For my liner, I'm actually using a brown gel liner. This one's the Dip Brown from MAC. So let me open it up so you can see. It looks like that. Lately I've been using that on my eyebrows as well. I feel like it works really well. If you don't have the Anastasia, you can try that one. It works nicely as well. On my lips, I'm using this lip balm that I got on my Lip Monthly. Again, this is contouring and highlighting for a special event. I'll have a separate video on a more wearable look. I mean, you can still do this every day if you have the time. I don't have the time, so on a day-to-day basis I do something different, which I'll have in a separate video for you guys hopefully soon. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!